Hello, and welcome to season 3 of Super Pros Bros. I'm player 1, Ike, and with me, as always, is.
Player 2, Eli, and Messiah. Did you know this podcast is available on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify?
I did not, Potato Chip! Are those the same places they could
Like,
comment
share?
and subscribe?
It sure is.
My goodness. Technologies these days. What will they think of next?
We live in the future. It's like the Jetsons.
I've got a metallic maid that constantly gives me shit. Castrates me in front of my wife. It's lovely.
What the fuck?
No, have you ever watched that? Like, go back and watch that. If memory serves, what's the Rosie in the Jetsons is constantly giving freaking Mr. Jetson shit. Like, okay, like she's like giving him like verbal side eye. It's awesome. He deserves it. Jetson sucks. He is like by far like everybody knows he sucks. His wife's kind of like, that's nice, dear. His kids are like, all right, dad, I'm out of here. His boss is like, you fucking idiot. Like everybody knows that Mr. Jetson sucks, including a robot.
Man, I really do not know much about this show. That's funny. I only said that because it's a quote out of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Text to speech. We live in an amazing age. It's like the Jetsons.
It's really weird. We should make an episode on how much futuristic fiction was just like off and right at the same time.
Yeah.
Because there's some of that technology we do have, like, like FaceTiming is constantly their mode of constant communication, which we have and never use. Everybody just texts because they can't be bothered to have an actual conversation.
Yeah.
But then, like spaceships and flying cars, we're lacking a little bit.
We are lagging behind.
Well, is there anything in your life that is not lagging behind that you would like to share with the listeners at home?
Oh, God, no. I mean, bruh, the highlight of my life recently is I've been watching League of Legends and playing World of Warcraft again.
This is the height of luxury.
I am living in the past. It is awful.
Hey man, sometimes the past ain't bad.
Yeah, nah, just yep. It's another week's of cool. I made it through the week.
Woo! And we're so glad you did.
Yeah. It's
that's me this coming week, even though I have to only be at work for 2 days.
Go fuck yourself. I'm sorry, that just slipped out. It's just like a tick reaction.
Not even trying to rub it in. Like, honestly, the reason I am having like anxiety in this next week is because I am not at work and I am like going to do a thing that I feel unprepared for. Literally, before we recorded this, I was like lying in the fetal position, like fucking blowing snot into a polo shirt. This is not hyperbole. This is exactly what was happening. It was just into like
it sounded like a muffled boat horn.
I'm sure that's how it sounded to the people outside my room as well.
And somebody needs to get that horn some more aerosol.
It really needs it. One side quite plugged. But just got back from regional championship Denver. Ended up finishing 47th, which was one win away from like the ultimate goal. But bless you.
Sorry.
Ended up getting $525 for my efforts.
Does not hurt my feelings.
It was quite nice. And then also got called later and found out, like, got called over the intercom, like, hey, come pick up your promo. I was like, all right, cool. Went and got it. I was like, whatever. And luckily, so there are vendors at Big Magic tournaments. They were like, the prices they were offering or the scuttlebutt of their offerings were quite low.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, whatever. And then a friend of mine was like, ooh, I want that. I was like, all right, cool. And I was kind of like, in my head, I was like, here you go. I'll get like, maybe a $20 bill.
Sure.
We go out, we have dinner. I had lovely dinners the whole entire week. I should say as much. I went out with different friends every single night. More on that at 11. But when I got back to Los Angeles, I got a text from him and he goes, "So, about that card, how about I pay for your part of the rent for the hotel room?" I'm like, "How much is this fucking thing worth?" I look it up and it's like listed. These listings are high, but it's listed online as being $300.
Oh damn.
I was like, he goes, "All right, final offer. I pay 165, which is like 3 days worth of hotel, plus 80% of the difference if any of them sell by the end of the week." I was like, "Deal. Like, this is more than I would have gotten for a vendor by a lot. You're getting it. This is great. Everybody wins." So yeah, I got a nice little like 40% uptick there on my earnings. Also during the week, so went out, like I said, went out to dinner every single night, with different friends every single night, which was awesome. The first night was by far the best night because got in, was really hungry. Awesome. Let's go to this nice steakhouse. Yeah, all right, fuck it. When in Rome, we go out to the steakhouse. They have, in quotes, Wagyu beef.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, all right. The server seems pretty cool. How much, like, how good is this really? He goes, "Look, it's not what you're going to get in Kobe. This is America. All right. Like how you're, like the candor of this conversation already.
Yeah.
Tell me more." He goes, "All right. So it's like the best you're going to get in the United States for the most part, unless you spend like 5 times this price. Other than that, it's going to be basically this." It was like $120 for an 8-ounce steak. I'm like, when in Rome, fuck it, let's go. Yeah,
Sure.
let's do it. And then later on, I was like, all right, so how are we paying for this? We doing credit card game like crazy people. We doing blah blah. He goes, and one guy to my right goes, "No, I'm picking up the bill." I'm just like, huh? He goes, yeah, I got
I'm sorry,
this.
what now?
Well, apparently multiple people that play in like the LA community are like rich.
They're just fucking loaded.
Like 2 of your gamer friends rich.
Okay.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Eli,
yeah. Bill and Brian
with
are loaded. They are
literal millionaires.
Yeah, they're quite affluent. I remember overhearing at one point, a guy talked about potentially getting a penthouse, and he's like, "Well, 5 million was a bit steep. I might have gone for 3." I'm just like,
that kind of casual conversation.
Yeah, I've watched Bill lose $25,000 and shrug. So, you know,
either a healthy disinterest in money or loaded.
He rolled 7. All his money left the craps table. It was as much as I make in 6 months. Oh my god! Like,
so yeah. Thank you, Matt Ancio. You're a goat. But yeah, so that was the best of the evenings because it was the best food I got, and I paid $0. It was actually, it's not true. I paid $19 and some odd cents for a cocktail because he's a Mormon man and doesn't pay for drinks, which I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
What a weird place to draw the line.
You know what? He spent over $200.
He picked up the overwhelming majority. We'll take it.
He picked up my steak, my side, and my dessert. And I was like, deal.
Yeah, you know what? Fair. At a certain point, we don't ask questions. You can write the rule you want.
No, we do not. But actually, fun story. To get there, because I'm such a neurotic shithead, I decided I was going to take public transit to save money. So I ended up feeling the need because I don't know if I discussed this on here actually. The week prior to me going to Denver, my car got broken into. And they tried to hotwire it. Thankfully, the people that did are fucking stupid. So they broke into my car, got into the front seat, pulled down the underneath console underneath your wheel.
Yeah.
And they went, "Wires? That's not what it looks like on TV," and just left. They didn't cut any of them. Like there was no inquiry. Wires, my only weakness.
They didn't even take a college try, old college try. Now
they just ripped it off and went shit. They left. Maybe somebody walked by. I like to believe that they ripped it off and went, Ah, crap! There's a lot more of these than I thought, and
I
just
thought
left.
there'd be like 4.
um, yeah, this isn't what this is what it looks like in GTA at all.
This isn't what Hollywood promised me.
So that happened on like one of the rainiest days in LA. Lovely. Ended up getting my car taken care of, but I was still a little bit shell shocked from that, and so went to double check and make sure my car was parked, locked, and hadn't gotten a ticket before I left. But I am very much a last minute person, so I did that all the while like having 2 hours from when I left my house to check on my car, to then need to walk in the opposite direction, catch a train that I don't know where it is, to a bus that I don't know where it is, to then go to the airport. Good time management skills over here, I tell you.
Nailed it.
So went down, checked. It was exactly like I thought. So then I hoofed it like a mile uptown with while wearing 2 backpacks because I was going on a trip. And so I'm just like hoofing it. When I finally get to the train station, I didn't realize how deep this thing was. Went to the bottom floor, didn't realize there was a second landing. The second landing is the one I needed to go to. Ran up the escalators, still wearing 2 bags, got on the train. I get on the train and I'm like, I think this is the right train, but the doors were closing, so I couldn't really check. So I get on the train and I'm like, is this the train to the flyaway bus? And the guy's just looking at me. I was like, is this the purple line? And he just looks at me with this smile on his face. I have never wanted to smack a stranger who just smiled at me so bad in my fucking life. I look at this other lady. I'm like, is this purple line? She goes, I think so. And I verbally go, good enough. And I just like sat down in a heap. Ended up being the purple line. Got off, rushed to the bus. I'm like, when's the bus coming? They're like 17 minutes. I'm like, okay. Whoo. And I sit down. And after I sit down and I wait a minute, my body goes, hey, you've been doing way too much physical activity. We would like to throw up now. I'm like, no, let's not do that. And body's like, nah, let's do that. I'm like, no, let's not do that. And body's like, we're fucking doing that.
This is not a suggestion.
You figure out where this lactic acid is coming up out of you. I'm like, all right, here it is. So I like dry heaved a couple times before just vomiting the tiniest amount of putrid smelling and looking liquid, much to the chagrin of everybody else waiting for the fucking bus.
Butyric acid, by the way.
Butyric acid?
That's stomach acid is butyric acid. And it smells fucking foul.
Yeah. Like Red Bull. Legitimately, though, what that reminds me of.
I mean,
I have never actually.
That, but,
I say that as someone who loves Red Bull, by the way.
I just say, in biochem in Johnson's class, we messed with butyric acid, which is why I know what it smells like, undistilled and pure. It's awful. It's nauseating.
Distill that. Sorry, when you said undistilled, I'm like, that means there's a distilled version out there somewhere. Somebody's just like, oh yes, I have the finest butyric acids around. People are like, yeah, I'm still not fucking buying it.
It's absolutely horrendous smelling. It's terrible.
So that happens, and then there's not a water fountain nearby, nor do I have any water on me, and so I'm just left with that delicious flavor in my throat for the whole bus ride to the airport. Oddly enough, though, other than the fact that like my throat and mouth tasted like garbage, that is actually the first time in my life that I've vomited and felt good or felt better than before.
Really?
It was really weird. Yeah, like I think it was just because it was so much like pent up nerves and just, butyric acid or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, made it, and I continued to be like undefeated against the Los Angeles airport. I got there, went from door to terminal in like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something like that. So continue to just keep whooping LAX's ass.
Nice.
Thankfully. And then yeah, the rest is as I've already previously mentioned. Any which way, other things that steal the show other than me vomiting at the airport are
I mean, every show. There's too many shows that have terrific side characters that too often you're like, yeah, this is just better than the main character.
More of him, please.
Yeah, more of that one, please. And to be fair, part of why side characters are so great is because they're pretty easy to feature kind of highlight reel of.
Yeah.
You don't need to necessarily show them having tremendous foibles or being stupid or whatever. You know, you can just kind of give
or character growth for that matter.
Yeah, or character growth. And, you know, it's like looking at people on Facebook. Of course, you can just get the best.
Yeah.
But there's some that they're just fucking great, frankly. And
such as
you wanna start from the top or my?
Take it away.
All right,
you're in the rhythm. I wasn't looking to take the mic.
All right, we're gonna lead in with the fucking Riz Master from Jujutsu Kaisen, Satoru Gojo. He is not the main character of the show. God, he should be. I'm sorry, Yuji Itadori, you're okay. Like, Itadori Yuji is okay, but he's boring comparatively. And I mean, part of it is you're supposed to have he's the tabula rasa main character. Blah, blah. Fuck you. Give me this crazy shiny-eyed Shinobu every day of the week. Like, he's just dope. He's just for several reasons. One, his power set is actually really cool, and it's a fun thing they do applications of.
Mm-hmm.
It's OP as shit, to be fair, but it's cool.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting kind of OP. Two, he has basically no qualms with just killing people, which I'm a big fan of. Just like, shit's got to get done. Da da da. And three, like, he is so seldom bothered, and so he is so upbeat that it's kind of endearing and at times intimidating. Like, because he is the strongest guy in the show, he just casually bitch slaps people and laughs about it.
literally.
Like, yeah, and 2 episodes ago, you watched people struggle to fight what he's dealing with, and he's just fucking showing it what day of the week it is. It's like, oh my god. He's just nonchalant. Like, the first
what are we doing today? Oh, whooping your ass? Got it.
Yeah, like the first episode, he basically squares up against one of, part of the incarnation of one of the most dangerous things ever made. And he's like, give me 10 seconds. I'm going to beat its ass. And he tells Zuko, he's like, I'm going to show off a little bit because my student's watching.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, he's got fucking Riz oozing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Every scene he rolls up and it's just like, damn. Panties have hit the floor within a city block.
Well, speaking of panties hitting the floor,
accidentally seamless transition.
Like we planned it in the meeting. We've got Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother. This is the character that effectively rekindled Neil Patrick Harris's career post Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, which also, basically that. This character hasn't exactly aged well, but holy shit, is he still just the best part of that fucking mediocre show. My god. It's just, he's awesome. He's awesome. Just all of the Riz, none of the morals. Just out there making plays, getting, as he probably would say, gash, and just living like he's going to die tomorrow from syphilis, which he very well might. The man was
hungry.
Yeah, he might be emblematic. Like, if you went to a dictionary thesaurus and looked up pussy hound, you might find a picture of Barney Stinson just winking at you. Character doesn't change. Glad they didn't make a show about him, because that would either be heinous because they'd have to give him character growth, which, or they wouldn't, in which case
it'd just be boring too.
There's no way it works out well. He is like the perfection of a side character. of just being like all juice, no break.
Yeah, no consequences required. Have him do
Yeah.
wacky madcap shit. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, the part of the show that does go bad is when they start trying towards the end. Spoiler, because you shouldn't watch this fuck awful show. Is towards the end they try to like build on him, and he improves and he changes, and they do it so badly. It's just yeah. Next.
um, um, I there's a lot of characters that could come from this one. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood has actually just a lot of banger side characters. Truth be told, like it really does. Thinking about it, but I'm limiting myself to two, and so one is from the first half of the show because Maze Hughes is
Busted.
Maze Hughes is busted.
Busted.
He's the facade he puts on of being the super nice friendly family man, and it's like, nah, that dude is actually cold as ice underneath it, and he just doesn't let you see. Like
I
he
mean, I think
not,
those
not
were
cold as ice is wrong. He is like he can flick to be cold steel at the drop of a hat. Like
yeah, I
he
do
has
think
not lost his edge.
yeah, I do think he is a loving family man who has the ability to just be like, oh, it's go time,
Yeah,
and just like fucking
like
throw down.
yeah, like he goes fucking hard. Like even though spoilers of an older show, even though he gets absolutely rinsed, like he makes people work for it. Yeah,
Oh yeah, he throws down with people way outside of his weight
he
class and
like
does not disappoint
he does
them.
not get fucking rinsed like fighting 10 leagues above his weight division. Like
Yeah. He's got a knife versus an alien.
yeah.
Like fucking what?
Yeah,
And he
like
still doesn't
he
like
jukes Sloth, throws a knife in her face and books it. It's like, dude, what a G.
yeah,
Yeah.
guy
And
holds his
like
own.
he sniffs out the whole enemy plot before anyone else does.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, what a guy.
Off of like I think it's something like really minor too.
Yeah,
It's not like it's not like he gets hard proof. I think it's
he
like
draws it out on a map and he sees the pattern that they're making an alchemical symbol. And
yeah.
he's just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
The
And
other
knows well enough that his end is nigh and is able to kind of separate his own mortality from the necessity of the information transcending,
yeah, like
and like is able to like he leaves it somewhere for them or something, right?
he gives some clue, like he leaves a clue behind for Roy to find.
Yeah.
The other one I have to give a shout to for a very different reason is fucking Greed. Oh, I love Greed. Oh my god,
Best of Oculus by a lot.
oh, best homunculus by a country mile. That motherfucker is just unapologetic arrogance and charisma. I love it.
Yeah.
He's just he's the fucking king shit, and he knows it, and it's awesome. Both incarnations are great. Like,
Yeah.
just what a G. He wants it all. He's fucking taking it. Deal with it. Like, the annoying thing is they make you care about him when he goes too. Like, oh, you bitches, you made me like him. All right, who's next on the hit parade?
The cross-dressing, beautiful son of a bitch that is Corporal Klinger. If you haven't watched MASH, stop this podcast and go check out an episode. I would recommend season 4, but that's just me personally. Corporal Klinger is a corporal in the army during the Korean War, and so desperately does not want to be there and is hell-bent on extricating himself from the military via what is it? There's a term for it. Section 8.
Section 8.
Yeah, which
Wait,
is like
Section 8 or
basically
Section
being
5?
unfit for service. And he goes about this by just every and all absurdist scheme. It initially starts with him dressing in drag because that was the time that was seen as like taboo or whatever. And then as the season continues, hijinkery is like mad afoot. At one point he eats a Jeep. Uh,
I forgot about that.
and like I think like the one of the other ones is he pretends that he's gonna set himself on fire, but they figure out it's water, and so they actually put like fuel
They put
in
like
the
gasoline in the
in the
tank.
gasoline in the tank, and he freaks the fuck out. It's all a ploy. The guy is a rule follower looking for a loophole, and he's adorable. He does his job, but hates his job. It's somebody we can all understand and respect, and
It's
the hijinks.
malicious compliance.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just all around fantastic. Played fantastically. Hold on. I need to see who played Corporal Clear. Spunk's hard. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Tell me his fucking name. Jamie Farr. The fantastic, incomparable Jamie Farr just did such an amazing job. They tried to continue him afterwards. Don't watch that. That show is not bad, but comparing it to MASH, it does look horrible in comparison. But just so much damn fun. Yeah, just great. What's next up on the old listeroo?
I'm gonna throw in another character from MASH. Actually, I love Sidney Friedman, who was one of the intermittent characters who would come in. He was the psychiatrist who would come in and consult sometimes, and so unlike most of the camp that has its specific brand of crazy, he was kind of another one of the like straight men who would walk in, but he wasn't opposed to kind of playing while he was around. Like I think one of my favorite like episodes with him is where he comes into like he's basically just there and talking about the camp. It was like basically a retreat for him to hang out with these people.
Yeah, he's took it his time off basically.
Yeah, exactly. And so he talks like it's the whole thing is that he keeps mentioning there's like a prankster on the loose. It ends up being fucking Honeycutt.
Yeah.
And so he comes out and Honeycutt is just filling like Burns dug a foxhole.
Yeah.
And he's just filling it with a hose. And he just goes, "You're the prankster?" And he goes, "Yeah. Wanna help?" Just like, yeah, sure. What do I do?
Immediately gets in on it.
Yeah, immediately he buys into it. I like that he would do both that and be the straight man. Like there's a time when he's like psychiatric aid for Hawkeye when Hawkeye starts to lose his shit for obvious reasons. He was another interesting kind of ballast, and like most of the people in that show, it just had great cast chemistry, and I loved what he offered when he came to, and he wasn't overused. So every time he showed up, it was really refreshing to have.
Truly. So the next entry on this list is a bit of a cheat. Not in that he's not the main character, but he's kind of the heart and soul of the show. So I think that's emblematic of being a busted side character that literally steals the show. I'm talking about Troy Barnes from Community. For anybody that hasn't seen it, fix your life.
Troy and Abed in the morning.
Nights. Some of you who have watched the show are like, "Oh, why didn't you pick Abed?" Abed's the main character. Anybody that thinks it's Jeff is kind of stupid. Without Abed, you don't have the show that is Community. Abed is integral to the show Community being Community. Without him, you don't have any of the fourth wall breaks. You don't have any of the Zoinky designs, the kind of playfulness that made the show. You have to have Abed Nadir to have Community the way it was. Troy Barnes, however, is the subtle soul that is the show that you don't realize it doesn't feel like it is because they tried to do multiple seasons without him, and you saw how well that worked.
It's not great.
No, he is the best part of the show. He steals the show. Without him, his himbo-ness running amok, it's not the show, buddy. That he is the
no, it fits.
He is the perfect himbo.
I just wasn't ready for you to hit me with the himbo-ness.
Yeah. Abed is peanut butter. Troy Barnes is jelly. Gotta have them both.
All right. It is absolutely no secret that I'm a firm proponent of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
What?
Crazy, I know. Um, and I don't think I can argue that any person on the main cast isn't a main character. Let's want to go with the argument that Jake is the main character, but fuck that noise. It, every character gets their own arc, their own development, and it's too fleshed out to consider them side characters, in my opinion. However, I love every episode where Madeline Wunsch comes in so much. That had to be so much fucking fun to write, and just craft up some of the richest zingers. Oh my god. I love the writing that accompanies. I love the chemistry she has with Raymond and just the incessant shit talking. It's fucking wonderful.
It knows no end.
Like I think one of my favorite episodes is where she dies. And so Raymond just keeps talking an insane amount of shit about a dead woman. like my favorite lines, like Amy's like crying. She's like, she was so young. Yeah, for a redwood tree. The other really notable side character is Doug Judy, who I think is just a fantastic kind of criminal foil to Jake, and who just unrepentantly hoses Jake over and over and over again in their relationship. The dude just walks in and has Riz and just refuses to be pushed out of any scenario. And there's so many instances where he just kind of takes over, and Jake is just like, "Wait, what's happening right now?" It's so good. Like he meets Amy, he's like, "Oh, so I see why you two are together." And it's like basically getting chummy with Amy, and Jake's just flustered, like, "What the fuck is going on?" It's so well done. I just those every episode that has those two in it, magnifique. Love it.
Well, to sound like a racist from the South, from one black man to another, we go to.
We are way too white.
Are we or are we not? So Lafayette in True Blood makes the show so hard. He doesn't have anything to do with most plot points,
Nope.
those that exist, but he makes the show so hard that from the original book that the series is based on, he is supposed to actually die effectively at the end of season 1, but he literally stole the show so hard that his character not only got to live to the next season, but throughout the whole entire show. Even though, again, has jack shit to do with any of the beats in basically every season. He's just there.
He's just
being
a gay
awesome.
line cook.
Yeah. I mean, like, first episode is he gets a burger sent back, and they said they want it redone. And he goes, "What's wrong with the burger?" They said they want it done like this. He goes, "It is done like that." And they're like, "They should have AIDS." What was that? They said without AIDS because he's gay.
Yeah.
So he then goes out with the burger, finds the 3 dumb sons of bitches foolish enough to send back a burger to him. And he goes, "Who ordered the burger with AIDS?" And just goes ham, and then proceeds to slap the ever-living shit out of all 3 of them, and then just tell them to tip their waitress as he saunters back to the kitchen. The man is just a beast. He's just the best.
He is him.
Yeah, he is him. There was no one else like him.
No. God, maybe I kind of want to rewatch some of the show just for him.
Just for Lafayette.
Just for Lafayette.
Trying to remember, there's this line that he says in one of the seasons that it's just like somebody calls him a hooker, and he lists off all the other things, and then goes, and then about 15 feet lower, a hooker. But he's just like, I'm not a hooker. I have sex with people for money, but that is the last thing that you should call me. And just like has this diatribe just waiting to just boom, just like send their way. It's the best. Speaking of people at the best, at perhaps not being the best.
Perhaps it being the worst. This is a little bit of a cheat, but Handsome Jack is tactically the main character of Borderlands 2. But he's awesome. He's potentially the best part of that game. Probably.
Yeah,
Almost definitely.
like
But
there are good
Stallion.
moments, but the
Um,
only one that's up for debate is actually Tiny Tina.
yeah. Um,
And hilariously enough, effectively they both got their own game. She got a DLC and he was like all of like the middle one. The like was it like 2.5 basically?
yeah. The pre-sequel.
The pre-sequel.
Yeah, that one he's like actually the main character of. Um,
Oh yeah.
um, yeah. He's just the kind of annoying, omnipresent antagonist. Holy shit, I love his writing. It's so good. We've raved about him enough on this podcast. He's just the tops for sarcastic douchebag villains. No one will top Handsome Jack, possibly ever. I think I've said enough. Moving
I
on.
think you said enough. So there's a very underrated show out of the Isle that is Ireland called Dairy Girls. It is about an all-girls Catholic school in Ireland near the border between Northern Ireland and Ireland, I believe, in Derry, thus Dairy Girls, that follows, was it 3 or 4 girls and then a boy who is going to a girls' school because they're worried he's going to get the shit beat out of him at the boys' school because he's British and the Irish not a big fan. It's fucking, the show's great, really short, really British and glib with the like the humor. It's awesome, and they have it, since it is a Catholic school. It is run by a father, priest,
No.
and then there is a sister who is a nun. Holy fucking shit! Sister Michael is goated. She could give a fuck what happens to any of these girls and lets them know it constantly. It's amazing the amount of times where somebody will like overshare, and being religious, she should care. Nope, not at all.
Not even a
Could
little
give,
bit.
could not give less of a fuck. Just like, oh, I guess we've all lost a bit of respect for you there, Claire. Just, just really, the amount of times where people are like, "Oh, can I share something with you?" You've got 1 minute, and then my kung fu movie starts, and it's just like they have their priorities in order, and it does not include any of the children that they should be
And
taking care
you are
of.
interceding on them.
Yes, it's awesome.
Holy shit.
Show's busted. Sister of Michael, the best of it. I don't want to overshare. Go watch them. It's amazing. What did you got up next, Broskinkowski?
Um, Orange is the New Black was I have mixed feelings about that show, and one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of that show is Piper sucks.
Yeah, she
Piper
is
is
fucking worst.
Piper is mediocre. I realize that's who the show is actually based off of, like the
Yeah,
real
fuck her.
person. I don't know. Maybe the real person is great. Your screen adaptation, eh? Um, Deal with it. However, Tasty rocks. There's an argument for Crazy Eyes. I didn't care that much. Like she's interesting as fuck, but Tasty steals the fucking show. Um, I gotta look up the actress's name.
Oh yeah, Danelle Brittany Brooks.
Okay,
Yeah,
everything I've seen her in, she is awesome.
she's awesome.
Like yeah,
She's in. Isn't
she's in
she?
Peacemaker. She's
Yeah,
dope
she's
in
in
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she has such a larger than life personality, and it comes out perfectly with Tasty.
The best
Oh,
scene with
goddamn.
Tasty is still when she almost like gets in a brawl with somebody over a fucking king cone.
I mean, even as much as so much of her character is being loud, ribald and obnoxious,
Mm,
she has a couple surprisingly good real moments. Like she gets out and comes back because she has no one on the outside,
mm.
and so she just falls back in, and her friend is like, "What the fuck are you doing back here?"
Yeah.
She's like, I had nowhere to go. She's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Tasty was by far the better character in so many ways. Moving on.
So, The Good Place is an awesome show. I don't want to spoil anything more about it because I am holding out hope beyond hope that my co-host eventually gets around to watching it. It's one of my favorite shows all time. I'm not pressuring him to watch it because that would be mean and also compounding on a problem that I have. However, I will
And
talk
also,
about.
he knows.
I'm trying. I'm trying so hard, bro. I love you, and I love the show. It's a hard line to tread. So in the show, a little bit of an expose. The Good Place is in the afterlife, and one of the characters is called Janet, and she's basically a
I had to fight the compulsion to say, damn it.
nice. Janet is just a effectively a super powered robot computer, but is put in human form, but can do anything. And so she just teleports at will when people ask for her to show up in this afterlife. They're like, Janet, and she's like, boom, yes. And like, can I do this thing? Sure. And just like, but it's played by an actress, and she does it so amazingly that it's just awesome. And there's stuff later on that happens, and you learn more about her backstory, and it's fucking phenomenal. I don't want to get into it here. It's busted. Watch the show if you want to know more about why Janet is goated. Can't have her own show literally. It would make no sense, but is just all the stuff that happens with Janet is amazing. It's great.
Speaking of goated, Levi Hitcho, Captain Levi Ackerman
Hell yeah.
from Attack on Titan. What a fucking baller.
Boss.
Yeah, as he is the kind of quiet and almost inevitable fucking hand for is it Marshall Irwin? No, it's not. What's his name?
I think it's Irwin. I think it's
Is it Irwin?
Captain Irwin or something.
It is Irwin. It's Irwin Smith. Okay. Yeah, Commander Irwin. There we go. He is just the quiet and inevitable hand of Irwin. Like, Levi doesn't have the brains to run anything. He doesn't run the show. He doesn't want to. He's very clear about that. That's not his job.
It's like a better version of Guts and Griffith.
Yeah, it's a more coherent and on the same page version of Guts and Griffith. Like
it's a healthy.
It's them if they had a healthy dynamic. Yeah, and so but Levi is just, he is the best at what he does, and it's not close. Yeah. There are people who are good, and then there's Levi.
His intro scene is still just so cracked. Where that poor bastard about to get munched is just like, Levi will avenge me. It's like, yeah, he wasn't kidding. Fucking.
Levi also just has the balls to do things that other people won't. Like when Aaron just talks a ton of shit, Levi just walks up and kicks the crap out of him.
At his trial?
Yeah, like at his trial, he's like,
beats him to near death.
He's just like, shut up. Just like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think one of my favorite things is that the other people Titans, they warn. They're like, you need to be scared of one guy. He's like, not scared of all the. No. There is one guy you need to be scared of because he'll kill you.
He will fucking kill you.
Yeah, it's like, he's just so baller. Like, god damn.
Very few people have balled this hard.
Yeah. Very few people have the balls this man does. And like he's not invincible either. Like he gets fucked up a couple times in the show.
I was so worried he was gonna eat it when he first gets fucked up. I was like, not like this. You can't be that goated and then get fucked up because of an ankle. Like I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
Luckily he didn't.
yeah, I was like, he's also not heartless too. Like that's the other thing.
No,
He has compassion.
he really cares about his people,
Mm-hmm. So
and about arguably about people in general, but
yeah,
especially like his, the people that are under his
like his squad.
command. Yeah,
Yeah, I like how they ended things with Levi as well between him and
I haven't watched the show.
okay.
I'm not that far.
Okay, shutting up.
Thank you.
They end things well with Levi. They're
Yay!
mild spoilers. Um oh no. Yeah, dude is busted. Moving on before I say something I'll regret.
Thank you. So, this is impossible to spoil because it's old and has no plot. Uh, Niles from The Nanny and effective like kindred spirit Joffrey from Fresh Prince of Bel Air, because they're both butlers that are British and catty as fuck. You could never make a show about them. It would make no sense. It would have no plot. It would be not interesting. However, having them
Having
be
them committed to be quit machines.
having them be quit machines that like aren't canon as gay, but definitely got picked up by like every gay person I know who watched TV shows in the 90s. They're like, those motherfuckers were gay.
That
They're
was not
awesome.
just his roommate.
They were roommates. They neither Niles nor Joffrey give a fuck. The fact that they're still employed suggests that they have dirt on their on their boss, because they say the most out of pocket shit you will ever hear. Just their boss's wife will say something that is like mildly open ended, and they just immediately capitalize on it. Occasionally, their boss will say something out of line, and they will immediately capitalize on it, and not in a light, oh, that's funny thing way, but a god damn, like, like fucking
Ooh, nurse.
it was like, I didn't know this was a friar's roast, just blood, dig, blood.
No one is safe.
No one is safe. And also, I think there's at least one episode where both of them just like say fuck it, and like the most bombastic, they like effectively quit and then either come back or are written out of the show. I don't remember which. Where they just go hard, and they just like everybody in the room gets an earful as they like go out the door, and it's awesome. Anyway, people that never gave an earful.
I you know what? I always love the good stoic and silent type, and Mike Ehrmantraut is just fucking tops. Um, in Breaking Bad, he is deliberately understated. You don't fuck with them. That's how you die. Um, he kind of in the same vein as as Levi. Mike Ehrmantraut is kind of the quiet hand for Gus Fring. Like he's the
Yeah.
quiet enforcement that just shit gets done.
Yep.
Like
It
I
gets
also
done right.
yeah, it's
Gets
done right.
done
It's done
clean.
clean. He's a man
Yeah.
of principles. He has a job to do. He will do it well, which is why he conflicts eventually with Walter, because Walter's driven by pride, whereas he's driven by like kind of purpose and procedure.
Yeah.
He has a job to do. There's a way you do it. There's principles.
Fun fact: he was not supposed to be a character in the show. Mike Ehrmantraut's character exists because of a issue in scheduling. It was supposed to be like they just that role didn't exist,
Hmm.
and because the first episode that it happens, slight spoiler alert for like a decade old show now. Uh, Jesse Pinkman's girlfriend ODs.
Yeah.
They call and they send over a fixer. They're supposed to. It was in the script. It was supposed to be Saul supposed to come over. I think he's got a guy that cleans up the place, and he tells Jesse what to say to the cops in
Hmm.
classic Saul fashion. Saul's not supposed to be the new fixer. There was never going to be one.
Hmm.
But after Mike Ehrmantraut, who's Jonathan Banks, who plays Mike Ehrmantraut, came on set, did the job. They're like, oh, damn. And they're just like, yeah, I mean, we got to. And they just like wrote a part for him.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then just ended up being like one of the coolest side characters that was just like busted. They ended up, I mean, he is so good that they basically gave him a monumental part with backstory, character development in
Better Call
the
Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Yeah. I love how he carries himself too. Again, why they made a part for him. But like he's never flustered.
He's never flustered, and he does something. I think one of the things that at least I appreciate about him, and I think you might as well, is that he doesn't fit the mold. He's not super strong. He's not busted. He's just smart and patient and
Yes.
knows what he's doing.
Like he's strong. Like he can fight, but he's not like he's not huge. He's not gonna throw cars at people.
Yeah, he's not a brawler, but I mean, like all of the ways he wins, basically all his fights of any consequence, he just knows what he's doing. He's just smarter than the other person.
Yeah,
but in not a like stupid like, oh, they're gonna throw a left jab, so I'm gonna duck. It's like, all right, if I were here, what would I do? And then he uses balloons. He uses a fucking pig. Like he uses like all these small things to get the best of people that are hired killers. Just because he's good.
Yeah, he thinks ahead. Yeah. Like I do love some of the scenes they have for him in Better Call Saul. Like he's like when he just straight up tells people from the cartel, he's like, "You guys are not as smart as you think you are." Yeah, Mike Trout is just phenomenal. I did not know that about how he got the part. That's dope.
Yeah.
Thank God he was available to be on set.
Another strong and silent type waiting in the wings. We've got Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec.
And he wants all your bacon and eggs.
He wants all your bacon and eggs.
Stop.
He's just not a real kid. He's just not real. It's awesome. Everything about Ron Swanson is just perfectly absurdist fantasy that from people that wouldn't say it out loud but definitely want to live that reality. It's so stupid and at the same time so awesome.
It's the dumbest, manliest dream ever. It's glorious.
Just, and part of it's actually just him. Like who plays Ron Swanson?
I know his name.
Yeah, I know his name too off the top of my head. Nick Offerman.
Thank you.
So Nick Offerman actually in the show they have him going to this wood shop and yada yada yada. That's just his wood shop here in Los Angeles.
He just like loves to do woodwork.
He does a lot and he's good.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't say he's good, but he's good. Like you can see his work, you can buy his work. It's good.
There's some quality there.
Oh yeah. So like all like that is just a real aspect to him. The way you'll occasionally catch his real laugh in the show. He giggles. It's adorable.
It's really funny.
Like that's actually just Nick Offerman laughing. He is just such a beautiful person. But yeah, it's just he could never be a show. There could never be a show about him because his life is just like his character would try to hide from the camera, and it just like doesn't work. But being this character off to the side is just awesome. It's just so good.
I also love that he effectively is the exact same person in an episode, is an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's like one of Holt's exes.
Oh, that's right. He's Holt's ex.
Yeah, exactly.
Boyfriend. Yeah. Like there's something about like a wood duck or something, right?
Yeah, because Holt like threw a decoy like off a bridge. Because he started talking with Dave. Yeah. My last entry, Cave Johnson is just some of the best narrating ever.
Just the name. Something about the name is just
the fact, the lines, the writing alone are great. The fact that it's J.K. Simmons voicing it, oh, buddy, even better. I I fucking love every bit of dialogue that Cave Johnson had to put this fucking script. So good. Man, it's a good thing you aren't part of the control group. Those poor bastards just had blue paint. No, but in all seriousness, they broke every bone in their legs. There's so much of that, and like it's so fun as you get to go and you get to hear like this kind of slow spiral as a once dignified company is like fucking falling into ruin with him still running at the helm somehow, not being ousted by a fucking board of directors. It's just it's so fucking good. Like they could have done Portal 2 and never done any of that. I thank God. Told me I couldn't buy $7 worth of moon rocks, let alone 70 million. Ground it up, turn it into a gel. Turns out it is pure poison. I am deathly ill. I've got way too many of these in the fucking chamber. You need to stop me.
All right. Well, potentially last on my entry list here, we've got somebody that kind of broke this mold, so I'm not even sure if he counts, and Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad, because he did get his own show.
He was too good a character. He actually gets his own show.
Too good. Bob Odenkirk just crushed it. The character of Slippin' Jimmy McGill is just too good. And they had to make a 5-season show for him, 6-season show for him. It was just great. And he continues to be awesome. He is exactly, this kind of, you get to see the beginning of the machinations that are this super slick, sleazy criminal lawyer that you meet in Breaking Bad, and it's just amazing.
You don't need a criminal lawyer. You need a criminal lawyer.
So honorable mentions go to every single character that I can and can't think of in Adventure Time, but those are an art site. There's somewhere between way too many to list and like they are an art. The show is like kind of.
We'll each pick. You can pick two.
No, I don't think I can.
Okay, because I know the two that I would pick. I would pick Marceline. And I would pick Ice King.
Yeah, but I also feel like they're main characters. That's where it gets weird. Is either the character is a vignette like Root Beer Guy, or they are arguably a main character. Like obviously Jake and Finn are the main characters.
I would argue the main characters of the show are Jake, Finn, and Princess Bubblegum.
Marceline has a whole season about her.
That whole season is like 5 episodes.
Fangs?
What's like about her origin?
It's literally 10 episodes.
That was like 5.
No, it's a
10?
lot.
Really?
It's a lot. It is a shocking amount. I'm not a fan of how much of it is. It like they have episodes about literally just the Ice King. They have episodes literally just about Marceline. That's where it gets fuzzy to me. And to like pick and choose and get into the weeds of it, I am just gonna give it an honorable mention because it is such its own. There's no show like Adventure Time for me, so I don't even want to try it.
It's very wonky, to be sure.
Yes. Are we done, or are we or is there some low hanging fruit to be grabbed?
There's it's hard to call him a side character, but God bless Dr. Cox.
Fuck. No. Computer.
I think he is absolutely the best part of Scrubs.
I agree. John C. McGinley always brings it.
Yeah. I don't think he's been in anything where he does better than he did in Scrubs, honestly.
Sure.
I don't know. He just got so much free reign to just rag on people and be as sassy and petty as he fucking wanted, and it's just magnifique.
Sorry, girls. Dropped my computer. Meow. Still my favorite scene from that show, bar none. You know how things work. If it barely works, they never get rid of it. Oh, I guess that makes sense. That's how your ass is still on the payroll. Oh, somebody stop me.
He gets to leave, but you have to stay.
My last entry to some of our other ones earlier is I can't really choose between Killua and who's the old dude that's like busted beyond shit in Hunter x Hunter?
Oh, Netero. Chairman Netero.
Chairman, I can't really choose between Chairman Netero and fucking Killua. They're both just cracked and in kind of funny ways. Like Killua shouldn't like they're both antithetical to way their presentation makes you expect.
Mm-hmm.
Killua seems like he's gonna be this upstart, snotty little kid, and then he's just scary powerful and has no problem just dealing out death casually.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first fight you see, he just legitimately takes a man's heart, puts it in a bag, and then dangles it in front of him as the guy ceases to be alive. It's like, what the fuck?
It's like, bro, you're 10.
Yeah, you were on a skateboard 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And he's buddies with the sweetest guy that sans one occurrence would never kill someone.
Nah, nicest dude. Gon is the nicest kid ever.
Gon's the nicest. Smart, a little devious, but the nicest ever. Killua, best homies. Also,
Cold-blooded as
murder
shit.
you for a sandwich. Like fucking die. That's my bacon and lettuce tomato. And then you've got Netero, who also old guy. You expect to be hardcore, especially given his position, but then plays a game of keep away with 2 kids for like a day on a Zeppelin.
Just because he can. He's like, I'm bored.
Yeah, he's like, this sounds fun.
Yeah. And I love that scene because it kind of shows the difference between Gon and Killua. Because Killua's like, we can't beat him. He's busted. Like, Killua just knows, like, I headbutted him and it was like hitting a steel wall. All right, well,
I'm out of here.
This is never working. I'm out. Like, and Gon is like, he's only had to use one hand. I'm making him use both.
Yeah, and then gets elated. Like, he's so ecstatic.
I love what Gon resorts to. He just starts headbutting Netero, which is like headbutting a brick wall, until he starts to hurt himself. So Netero goes, I don't want this kid to kill himself. So he uses both hands to stop him and hold the ball. And Gon just goes, I did it. Passes out on the fucking floor.
I got you use both hands. Slump.
Yeah, it's just like, ha, got him.
And with that lovely visage, we're gonna throw it to our ad break. I was gonna say something more there, but my brain went.
Have you ever thought, I really, really want to be humming the same song for weeks to annoy my coworker? Well, let's go see some classic animated kids movies. Because you're surely going to be taken hostage by your 5-year-old as they repeatedly demand they've got to see it. And then deal with them lamenting how they really want all the merchandise as you're walking through the stores. And it's everywhere, isn't it? Not to mention, those songs are going to follow you home too. You're not safe. Such studios as Disney and DreamWorks printing these things, you're bound to leave with an insidious and infectious earworm that you're gonna be humming. All because your kids never stop singing it in the shower. But hey, at least the creators know you're being forced and coerced by those little anchor biters, and they throw in some jokes just to make it bearable.
Hey, you came back.
Thank God.
Neat. Any shows for those returning that you would recommend?
I do. It's a weird one. So I'd kind of forgotten about it, and I saw a clip of it. I forgot how good the show looks. So I think in Japanese it's Kekai Sensen. However, if you're looking for English, Blood Blockade Battlefront, um, it bangs. I love it. However, it's bizarre. I don't know if you should watch it high or sober. There's an argument either direction. But it's this really bizarre take on, like, basically the supernatural exists and it mostly exists in this one city.
Because why would it need
Because
to
why would
exist
it? Yeah,
elsewhere?
it's basically the city is this hellmouth, except it's functional. It's like this weird mix between mythological Jerusalem and like New York. It's it's absolute batshit crazy. Um, and so the main character ends up getting through kind of twist of circumstance and fate gets lumped in with this group of people who are kind of like lawbringers that deal with vampires. Um, and shit gets wild very quick. It's this bizarre episodic show that has like a kind of constant through tie to lead to the ultimate baddie for the season, sort of deal. It is gorgeous. The show is really fucking well animated. The fight scenes are outstanding to look at. It's batshit bonkers crazy. Strap yourselves in. It's going places fucking fast. You will be confused how you got there.
It'll make your head spin.
Oh, good God, yes it will. It's very bizarre. It's not like FLCL levels of weird, but like I would par it with like maybe Kill la Kill levels of weird. It's very strange. Not as much fan service as Kill la Kill though. Not quite. What about you?
It's gonna be hard to do.
Yeah.
Well,
fair.
on the antithetical end of such violence in a secure city, we have in a lovely land where dogs are anthropomorphic and Australian, we have Bluey. Bluey is a kids show from Australia that has no right, literally no right, being as heartwarming, inspiring, and intriguing to adults and children alike in like I think it's like 10-minute or less runtime. They are really short and crazy good. They somehow effortlessly are non-binary. I say non-binary, they seem to be gender fluid. I think in multiple episodes they refer to each other as both female and male pronouns. It never seems to ever fucking matter because it's a kid show, which is kind of awesome. It's a great way to show that it's kind of, very fluid and kind of irrelevant. And it doesn't matter about their person at all. It's lovely. It's sweet. It's just, it's crazy. It's so good. And like, also, bananas as shit. The characters in one episode can, for no particular reason, control the parents when they're playing a game of squash. Never comes up before or after. It's just for that one episode because it's a fucking kid show. We can do whatever the fuck we want, including make you cry, teach you lessons, and show children the ability to perceive future death and growth in, again, 10 fucking minutes. It's unreal. Show is, it's stupendous. It makes no sense.
Okay.
I would give it a watch. It's all that in a bag of crisps. Because we're in Australia. That's what we call chips. Yeah. What you been putting in your ear holes, my guy?
I've got a good EDM jam if anybody wants something to dance to. Neon by Fool and Midranger. It is good. It's good workout music. It's good driving music. I enjoy the song immensely. I have to always turn up my music a little bit when it comes on.
Goes from a 6 to 7 for you?
Pretty much.
For those of you that don't know, my lovely brother and co-host has supersonic hearing that would put ears from Vinland Saga to shame. Maybe not. He can hear people literally miles away.
Yeah, I'm not quite that good, but I do have very acute hearing. So when people are like, I listen to it loud, I'm like, that's deafening.
Yeah.
You will kill me.
I think I when we're driving, I think I cut mine down by about 30% to 40%
Yeah, it
from
sounds
what I
about right.
normally listen to. And I've gotten better about listening to it so as to like make my hearing last longer too. But yeah. This is one thing, oddly enough, I don't know if I told you this. My long-term girlfriend when I was living in Santa Rosa got annoyed with how much we would make a stink about the fact that you didn't it would bother you if somebody would like eat with a fork and knife on a glass plate. That like got annoying at how much we referenced that apparently. It's just violently true.
I mean, it's true. Like, if you just fucking screech silverware against glass plates, I will fucking lose my shit. But it's
Yeah.
really odd that it got referenced like more than twice.
Yeah, well, she's also a weird duck.
Eh,
Anyway, things that are weird and not duck related, but are foul. Andrew Bird,
get out
seamless. Couldn't even see it
the
coming.
dorm.
As I head towards the outside, per my co-host request, Roma Fade by Andrew Bird is one of my new favorite earworms. I cannot get enough of it. I can't get enough of him. A lot of the future recommendations are going to be from him, as I just cannot set him down. But Roma Fade is my current favorite. It's just all of his stuff is busted, but that one's just it's got the right amount of juice to the right amount of lovely. Yeah. So check out Roma Fade by Andrew Bird.
I guess with
And
that, that's our episode. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and if you enjoyed it, please feel free to
like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
but don't forget, new episodes of Super Pros Bros come out the first and third Saturday of every month. Bye.
Bye.